Hey, how are we guys? Welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Big day. Lots of news to get through. Fair bit happening in the world. Some big exciting things that I'm pretty happy about. A couple of things. Probably go first of all, a little quick unboxing. Been waiting for a while to get this. Found one at the right price and got it. And yeah, gonna do some testing with it. It's a 7 Artisans lens from a Canon M50. It's a f2.8, 12mm f2.8. It's a nice, beautiful, big wide angle lens. It's a manual, so I've had to look up how to set it up for the Canon M50, which I've got that done now. I may even get some night photos tonight because it's a beautiful clear sky, stars are out, no moon. So I'll see how I go. I'm trying to get some editing done for the Perth Boat Show, so I can get that video out to you. But yeah, let's unbox this bad boy. 7 Artisans. I've read some really good reviews on this for the Canon M50. And it's probably one of the cheapest options you can get, but probably one of the best ones. Again, it's 12 2.8 and a warranty card, which I have to fill out and send that off to them. So I'll do that tonight. Let's check this out. Oh, it's got some weight about it. Good solid lens. Obviously manual, as I said, so you've got all here, you've got your aperture down, f-stops at 2.8 to 16, and then your to infinity, and then all your dimension, your focus ring. Nice smooth focus ring. And same with that f-stop, that's pretty smooth. No sort of grinding or anything, so that's good. Lens cap. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful big dome on it. See if I can get some light on here. Oh, it's a bit bright. Beautiful lens. eBay purchase. So if you have got a Canon M50 and you want a wide angle lens, this was probably half the price of getting the Canon 11-22. Obviously the Canon 11-22's got stabilization. It's a good wide angle lens. It's got the zoom and everything, but I just wanted something fixed. I wanted a manual lens so I could really just focus on that and see what I can capture and sort of, I guess, challenge myself a little bit. And at half the price, it was definitely worth having a crack at this instead of just dumping it onto the Canon. The 11-22 got reasonable reviews, but some of the images I've seen out of this lens are really, really spectacular. Architecture, night, lights, the colours, yeah, really good. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can create, I guess, with this lens. 7 Artisans. Canon, it comes in a straight Canon M50 mount, so no adapter, just screws straight on. You've got to go into your custom settings. I'll give you a hot tip if you do get one for the manual for the M50. Custom settings and disable, I think it is. No, enable it to allow it in. So custom settings, I think it's like third across in your custom settings. There's a box there for a manual lens, enable or disable. I think it's that pre-default is disable, so you need to go in and change that. But yeah, really looking forward to that. Going to try and get some sunset photos. It's a pretty clear week here, so the sunset was beautiful last night. Tonight was not too bad. I'm going to try and get out and get some of those, but there's not a cloud in sight. I'm going to check the radar, see if there's anything. I might go out late, get up a little bit earlier tonight and see if I can go and shoot out and get some star ones with it. That's what I wanted for, to be able to do those sort of things, get a nice bit of glass and just go and have a crack. So see how we go with that one. Right, let's get into the fun stuff. We'll start easy. I thought a little bit of thing that may help you. If you're buying online, shopping online can be a little bit scary for some people, and with good reason. There's a lot of dodgy sites out there. There's a lot of tricks and things you need to learn in order so you don't get your card or data stolen or your money flogged or end up with your ID stolen. So you do be careful when you're online. But even some places, they're getting that good now. It's very hard to pick the dodgy ones from the non-dodgy. eBay's pretty much hard to beat. It's very hard to beat eBay on prices and on what you can buy. So it's some things you have to get outside there, and you can get a better deal. So just be aware. When you get to those occasions, there's a new company out, which I thought was a brilliant idea. It's called privacy.com. And if you put /techlinked, which is, I got off the TechLink, Linus TechLink guys, if you put TechLinked in the back, you'll get a discount as well. So on your first time you use it, it's like $5 off or something. So definitely worth a crack. And basically what it does is, mate, you set it up, you put your credit card in, and then just say you want to buy a mouse. And that mouse is $150, and you found the place you want to buy it, being a bit concerned, and you don't want your data going. So you need 150, so you put $150 from your account into a virtual credit card. That gives you the numbers, expiry date, all the stuff you need for a credit card. They basically digitally provide that to you. You then enter that into the store where you want to purchase the mouse, and it will then basically purchase it, get sent to wherever you want to get sent, and you're 100% completely safe. Uses all the double encryptions and all the jargon that you need to protect you, and it's not your personal credit card in there. So that's stored with privacy. They're the only ones that have that. So I think it's a great idea. I guess mainly for those ones where you really have to get it from a certain place and you're just a little unsure, you don't feel easy about it, or you just don't want anyone to have your credit card online, which is fair enough nowadays. It can be a little bit scary with what's happening. So check it out, privacy.com, and if you're /techlinked, TECHLINKED, that'll give you a discount from the Linus Tech Boys on their channel. They obviously get sponsored by it, I don't, but I thought it's a great idea, and the more people that know, it's the only one I do know about. There may be some others that do it. Check if there is, do a little bit of research, check their rates and that, but this is a well-known company, so it might be worth your while if you are looking for something. Definitely give it a crack. Trumpy, good old Trumpy. He is in a world of Shyolta. He's been caught on a phone call to the Ukrainian president this week and the last week, and he's done some favours for Ukraine to help them out of whatever situation, get them the armed forces and to get some new missiles, Javelin missiles, so they can protect themselves against Russia. Obviously, they've got major issues with Russia, and him and Putin don't get on, and there's been a lot of long line of issues there for many years. So he's been caught on the phone call saying, look, hey, glad we can help. What I need from you is, how about you get some dirt on my opponent, Joe Biden? So yeah, he was there promising favours to get these missiles in, and he wanted in return for the Ukrainian guys to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. Obviously, a really big no-no. I think he's going to be in a bit of shit over this one. We talked last night about Pelosi trying to get him, and this is not going to help. This is really some really big fuel for that fire, and we may be looking at him getting booted out and possibly some jail time out of this. It's a pretty big deal. Most of the outlets were talking about it. It's obviously huge news. You just can't do that sort of thing. Their opposition is all over him like a fat kid on a chocolate cake, and it is getting pretty crazy. So keep an eye on that one. I don't think we've heard the last of it. Definitely haven't heard the last of it, and it's going to be big news for time to come. So yeah, Trumpy, deep water, Yep. If he was a crayfish, he'd be on the menu. Right. I'll leave the good one for last, the big one. Portrait of Banksy. How much would you pay for that? Few reports about. Banksy, graffiti artist, big, worldwide now, huge murals, get paid big bucks to do artworks wherever. Very famous, how would you call it? Social sort of a artiste, I guess. And he had a painting done of him that sold for $43,000 US. Now the thing is, it wasn't his face. It was the back of his head, and he's got a hoodie on. So this is what the portrait, someone paid $43,000 of. Now that's the portrait with just the hoodie, and someone's taken a photo. And they're saying, well, how do you know it was him? No one really knows who he is. If he's one person, if he's multiple, or what. But someone's paid 43 grand for that. Now, having said that, it was through a really good auction house, a proper legit auction house. They've obviously done their research. The photographers photographed the Queen. He's a top level photographer. He's got all the right stuff in the right places. That's fair enough. But it's the back of someone's head in a hoodie. I don't even know how that qualifies as a portrait. But yeah, $43,000. That's pretty amazing. That's how well he's now revered, I guess, as an artist. Banksy as an artist, that someone else can take a photo of him and not even see him and pay that much money. So definitely interesting. And yeah, I don't think I would. Maybe $50 or something if it was going to charity or something like that, but there's no way I'd be coughing out. Ooh, that'd be nearly 65 to 70 grand Australian. That's a lot of moolah. Right, the big one. Many years in Australia, we've been backwards. Our politicians are corrupt as crap. Very rare do they make the correct decisions. And on those occasions, they generally get overturned. I would guesstimate probably 20 years ago, when I was living in Darwin, I think it was Marshall Perrin, the Chief Minister. Was a really nice bloke. Know him well, met him plenty of times. He'd had a family member pass away, cancer, and it was really painful as it is, and it's a terrible disease, and they had to go through a lot of pain, and they couldn't be put to rest because it would be murder. So he fought the fight, got it passed in the territory law that voluntary euthanasia was allowed, which was brilliant. Everyone in the territory was for it. It was pretty much unanimous. It didn't even really get a fight against it. To anyone know or whinged about it. Then come along the pollies in Canberra, all the bigwigs, all the do-gooders, and all the people that know better than everyone else, and they're happy as long as their way of life is not changed and you can't do anything outside our aspect. We don't care if you suffer or your family suffers. They got it overturned through federal courts, which was pissed off a lot of Territorians. It definitely pissed them off. Pretty much basically said, well, basically F you to Canberra, jammed up your clacker. That's and 20 years it sort of died. Now that's since recently, I think down south somewhere, it's been put through the federal law. Now you can get assisted euthanasia, which is a fantastic thing for people suffering pain that just want to let go, and they've had their time and they're happy and they've said their goodbyes and they've done everything that they want to do. So I think it's a great thing. I think it's an option that definitely it's a choice for that person and they should have that right. Some people, I'm sure, are not going to agree with me, but I'm a 100% believer in it, and I think it's great. Now, that was a good outcome, but it took 20 years to overcome. It's probably in that same period or probably longer, probably last since the early 20s, when prohibition sort of ended and Americans needed something else to waste their money on, and fuel their wars and everything. They come across the war of drugs, and they fabricated up this cannabis drug as an evil drug, and last 50 years of it, it sort of was the devil, and everyone that was doing it was a scumbag and all that. And it's obviously in the last 10 to 15 years has wholeheartedly changed. People have realised that it's nowhere near a bad drug. It's actually, medicinally wise, ridiculously awesome plant. Probably one of the best plants on the planet to help people, especially for cancer, Parkinson's, Tourette's. They're just endless. The medicinal side, we know about those. Australia's had the medicinal side approved, but it hasn't really been rolled out and really died a little bit. Since then, the Americans gone wholeheartedly in it. California, it's fully decriminalised and recreational. There's about half a dozen states that are fully recreational and medicinal. More states are medicinal and looking to go to recreational, the tax money coming back in. And I'm very happy to say that the ACT got through today recreational and medicinal cannabis legalisation in the ACT. Huge. Comes in effect in January 2020. It's going to pull a lot of people that really don't belong in the prison system or have records or anything like that. It's going to take that pressure and stress off their life about feeling like a criminal when they're really not. I've never known anyone that does it to be anywhere near a criminal. It's just a total joke that anyone could think that. There's just people that are uneducated about it and don't really know what they're talking about. It's nowhere near a dangerous item, and I think it's great. It's going to create tax dollars for the ACT, and I would imagine so, with their territory government being so heavily in debt, that this is something that they should get on them as well and roll this through pretty quick so they can get part of the game and show the states and lead by example, the two territories, to show these states that, hey, we may be a small population, but we've got some brains in our heads and we're going to show you how to do this and do it right. The great thing about it, I've been to Amsterdam and I've been to other places where it is legal. The one thing Amsterdam does right, and it's probably people that, again, miseducated, think that you can just walk around and smoke it and do all that in Amsterdam, where you can't. You have to be either in your hotel or in your house or in demarked coffee shops. If you're on the street, the police can grab you. They can't search you, but if you're in there smoking, they can then fine you and you can get fines and stuff like that. So it's totally, and the Dutch people don't do it in the streets. They're switched on people. They get brains. They understand people's rights to not have to walk through it and smell it and whatever. And they also understand the people's rights. If they want to do it, they can do it. Just go indoors, go to a spot, go to a coffee shop. And they've got a thriving business, and they have had so for 40, 50, 60, 70 years, ever since they've totally made it legal. So I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great step in direction for this country. I think it's a great idea. I'm fully for it. I'd love to see the territory come on board and get onto it next and do it, which hopefully they do, and that movement will get it happening. And hopefully this Scott Morrison bloke pulls his head in, and I know he's probably going to have his churchy group backers probably fully against this and fighting hard to block it. But it started. We've got one foot in the door. It's a good chance to open the minds and educate people, do it the right way, which I think Canberra's done it. It's done the right way. It's only for personal use, and it has to be in your own personal spot, or you can't just do it out anywhere you want. So that's a great idea. I think it's definitely the way to go. It's a respectful way to do it. It's a clean, neat and tidy way to do it, and the tax dollars, ACT will reap them immensely straight off the bat. As well as, I've got a funny feeling come January, Canberra's going to be the place to travel to. You're going to get a lot of extra tourists into Canberra and the ACT real shortly. And I think you'll also find that those people that live on the border in Victoria and New South Wales, very close to the Canberra ACT border, that ACT borderline is going to be a great place to just cruise across the road and do what you believe you want to do. So it's your choice, it's your body, and I'm all for that. So yeah, it's a huge moment in Australia's history. I think it's fantastic. You possibly don't agree with me. That's everyone's choice, and they have that choice. I've had years of education in it. I understand it. I've seen what it does, and I've never seen one bad case of it where anyone's got out of control. It's the total opposite of anyone doing bad things. It's just basically people just sitting around watching telly and eating and playing games. So yeah, and obviously workplaces, they're still going to have their rules and things on what you can and can't do, so it's not going to be open. There's going to have to be some education on limits and how they're going to measure that when they do test people. So if you say, for instance, a fly-in fly-out worker, and you live in Canberra or in the ACT, and then you fly to somewhere and you work and they've got a drug policy, how does that work? What's the measurement? So that needs to be ratified pretty quickly. So I'm hopeful the federal government will just go, righto, well, this has started. Let's just get on board and do this. Let's do it Australia-wide. We've done medicinal. Let's just do the whole of Australia. Get it out. Get the tax set up. Let's get it on the road. Let's be a country that leads by example, and let's do this right and set it up, and let's find a way that we can keep businesses safe, people at work safe, and all that stuff that the business is concerned about, because they just want to cover their butts, so that's understandable. And there's ways you can do it. There's measurements with testing. You can get a certain level and agree on that, and people need to understand that. And if they go past that line, well, then that's what happens. So yeah, I think it's great. It's something different, and yeah, good on you, ACT. Well done to those territory politicians. I'm not going to say the Canberra politicians, but the local territory politicians that run the ACT, the actual territory, big balls, as they said in MLB. Big balls. Fantastic. Good on you. Good on you for having the guts to stand up and say, well, we reckon this is not too bad, it's good. We're gonna be the ones that lead the way in Australia. Awesome effort, and good on yous. Anyway, well, that's about it for me. I've got a ton of editing to do. I'm trying to get this Perth boat show. I did the photos last night. I've just started setting up. Got my emails to get through and stuff like that, so I'm gonna get all that done, and then see how we go sleep-wise, and then I might go and see if I can get some star shots for you with this new lens. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope you're all well on your Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, and then you got the weekend. I'll be working, but you won't be, so you take it easy. So whatever you are, whatever you're doing, whether you're going out tonight, which maybe it's a Thursday, getting home from training, or going to bed. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.